10 minutes past 7 on ABC Radio Melbourne. This week I saw on Facebook some really disturbing footage. Two quite large snakes fighting. They were writhing around each other and trying to pin each other down, and it was very impressive, but also made me a bit anxious. Is this stuff going on all around us and we just don't see it? This was on the Yarra River too, so how worried should we be if we're walking the dog along the creeks and rivers around town? Barry Goldsmith is a snake catcher and he's already picked up a few snakes around the traps, and spring is only technically 2 weeks old. Barry, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Why would these two snakes have been fighting?
Well, they would have been two boy snakes, and they would have been fighting over a lady, and the female would have been, probably in the vicinity. So if ever you see two snakes fighting like that, those two in the video, you would need to be aware that if you step back, you could be stepping on the female. So, and she wouldn't be too impressed. The only time the snake is likely to bite you is if you actually step on it or interact with it somehow.
So snakes won't chase you away?
No, snakes, it's a myth that snakes chase you. What they do is they have a couple of bluff lunges to let you know that they don't want your company, and then when they see your silhouette decreasing, they will turn and go the opposite direction. They don't wait in the bushes to jump out and bite us. How
good is their eyesight if they see our silhouette decreasing?
It's pretty average. It's not like they have fantastic eyesight.
That's interesting to know. So the two snakes that were twisting around each other and looking very wrestly, would that kind of fighting be dangerous for the snakes? Is it a fight to the death?
No, they never fight to the death. It's only a fight of it's only a competition of strength. It's like a glorified thumb wrestle, if you may. It's they want to pin each other's head down. Neither of them bite each other because they know that it's a waste of time. It hardly hurts them, and they're immune to each other's venom. So biting is out of the question. It's just a show of strength to let the girl know who's the strongest snake, and then when the loser takes off, the winner will hook up with the girl.
Well, I can see why she'd get annoyed if you stepped on her and messed with that, because it's a very important moment in their relationship. How many kinds of venomous snakes do we have in Victoria, Barry?
The big ones that we have, the tiger snake, the copperhead, the black snake, and the eastern brown snake. They're the main venomous snakes that are dangerously venomous. But we do have numerous smaller venomous snakes that are, they're not considered as dangerous as those four.
So they could make you a bit sick, but they probably wouldn't kill you.
The copperhead, the tiger, the black and the brown. Yeah, they're our main ones here.
And Barry, where are you finding them mainly at this time of year?
Well, at this time of year, they're sort of coming out of brumation, so they're sort of waking up. And I'm finding them, around wood piles that have been sitting around and rock piles. People are digging them up as they're doing the gardening. I've been called out to a couple that have been inside houses too, because sometimes they come inside. Or if you've got a cat that wanders, the cat can actually bring the snake into the house.
What, in its mouth?
In its mouth, yeah.
Oh,
and
crazy
the snake can quite obviously be still alive and very angry. It's one of the most dangerous situations around. If a cat was to bring a young tiger snake into the house, who knows what could happen. I've had to take them out of children's bedrooms and all sorts of things. So, yeah.
And what's the weirdest place you've ever had to remove a snake from?
The list is endless. Just recently I had to take one from a washing machine. A lady had picked up a bundle of washing, put it into a washing machine, and when she went to add more clothes to it, she realised there was a tiger snake in it. So she'd actually lifted up the tiger snake with the bundle and put it in. You know how laundries are very close to the back door? I think that's why I quite often find snakes in laundries.
Oh, that will make me never want to do washing again, which was a low bar, I have to admit.
No, yeah.
So Barry Goldsmith, you're the owner of Snake Catcher Victoria. What happens when you remove a snake? Do you take them to some kind of lovely snake hostel, or is it the Green Mile for them?
No, I'm obligated to release them within 5 k's of where I catch them. That's on my licence. That's one of my licence requirements. If I cannot find a place within 5 k's, and I usually can, I'm obligated to euthanise them. That's they've and because of the the urban sprawl, we're sort of running out of places that we can release them where they're going to be safe and where they're not going to attack, or not going to come into contact with humans or dogs. That's my main thing. I just don't want them to be in the news for biting people. I'd much prefer them to be in the news for the benefits that they give, you know.
What are the benefits?
Oh, well, rodent control for starters, and plus, as an apex predator, they are a necessary part of the environment. If you're to remove the snakes from a property, or all the snakes, then everything can fall down because you're removing an apex predator. They do control lizards and frogs, and they eat sick lizards, sick frogs, and things like that. So it just you have to keep that balance. They're part of the environment and they're part of the balance. So if you remove them, you can have trouble potentially.
I remember as a kid we lived backing onto a river in Shepparton, and Dad brought us outside one day and held up a snake with its head hanging by a thread and said, "This is a tiger snake. Don't go near these ones." And I think he might have either shot it or used a shovel or something. But that's not the recommended mode these days, is it? What should you do if you find a snake?
Oh, if you find a snake, you just step back. If the snake is not going to jump up and try to bite you for no reason, if you're walking around like down near a creek or a river, you would certainly not kill it with a shovel. That's not only is it illegal, it is now classed as animal cruelty, because if you were to decapitate a snake, that little head that stays alive and aware while the body is writhing around with nerves, and the body is obviously dead, the head is still alive and aware and seeing and smelling for up to 15 minutes.
Oh.
And, she's watching as you put her rubbish in the rubbish bin, as you put her body in the rubbish bin, and she's watching as you bend down to pick up the head, and she's ready to bite you as well. And many people have been bitten by the severed head because she's in fear, and she's scared, and she doesn't know what's happening.
Exactly. That's a really disturbing image.
Because reptiles have got a different metabolism to mammals, that's why they're able to stay alive a lot longer.
Well, Barry, just quickly, we're all a bit worried about our dogs if we're walking them down by the creek. Can you actually train dogs to be safer around snakes?
Of course you can. There's many places that offer what's called snake avoidance training for dogs, and there's quite a few. If you just Google well in your local area, I don't want to really advertise any at this particular moment, but
that's good.
Just Google one. Or you can ring me on 0408.
I don't think we can do that, Barry, I'm afraid. But it's good to know that there are snake training, the dog training places where you can keep your dogs a bit safer if you are walking around the waterways where snakes have already been active. Barry Goldsmith, professional snake catcher, thank you.